chosen ones. Listen closely. This word is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment set by the eternal clock of heaven. God speaks now not with suggestion, but with sacred decree. Congratulations, my child. Your name has been written into my book of release. I have unlocked the vaults of heaven, and the order has gone forth. A financial outpouring is being dispatched with your name sealed upon it. What is coming to you is not ordinary. It is not of this world. It is heavenly. And as I speak, angels are already being sent, swift, radiant, and precise, carrying miracle instructions straight from the throne of the Almighty. This is not a moment to scroll past or dismiss. The enemy has planted traps near your breakthrough, distractions placed precisely at the threshold. But God, in His mercy, is issuing a holy warning. If you turn away now, if you ignore what heaven has ordained for your deliverance, the release meant for you may be delayed, not because God is unfaithful, but because you were not positioned to receive it. Do not let what was aligned in the Spirit be disrupted by earthly doubt. Do not let unbelief close what God has already opened. God has seen your hunger, the silent sacrifices no one else noticed, the tears shed in solitude, the whispered prayers you thought had vanished into silence. Heaven heard them all. Nothing escapes the gaze of the Almighty. And now, yes, now God is moving. The answer long awaited is beginning to unfold. You were not led here by chance. You were drawn because the appointed hour has come. This is not merely comfort. It is a command from the throne. Stand ready. Believe again. Stretch forth your faith. Receive the release spoken over your life. And do not mistake this moment as only financial. This is about restoration. This is about divine timing. This is about destiny itself. What God is releasing over you is layered and sacred provision for the journey, protection from the storm, healing for every hidden wound, and honor in place of shame. You are not merely being rescued. You are being repositioned. You are not simply being seen. You are being chosen. God has waited for this alignment, not only for the blessing to be made ready, but for you to be prepared to carry it. Now heaven and earth collide. Now the veil is torn. This is holy ground. So hear this and hold it close. The next chapters of your life are being written in heaven's ink, and what is sealed by God cannot be undone by man. You now stand at the very edge of the miraculous. Do not walk away. Do not harden your heart, for the Spirit of the living God is near, and the door of release stands open before you. If this word pierced your spirit, don't stay silent. Comment 777 below as your act of faith and agreement. Let it be your public amen. Your way of saying, Lord, I receive this divine release. I receive your blessing, protection, and provision. What is written in heaven is now being unlocked on earth. Declare it, believe it, receive it. You, the chosen one, were never truly forgotten. Though the silence felt unbearable and the nights long without answers, heaven was never deaf to your cries. What you thought was delay was divine strategy. The path you walked, lonely, unseen, heavy with questions, was not evidence of abandonment, but a consecrated process tailored for one set apart. As C.S. Lewis profoundly wrote in The Problem of Pain, pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Your trials were God's megaphone, calling you to a deeper faith and preparing you for a purpose only the chosen can carry. The chosen are not shaped in comfort. They are forged in stillness, where faith grows wild and deep. Every whispered prayer, every sleepless night, every tear shed in private, heaven took notice. Not one moment of suffering passed unnoticed. And now, at the appointed time, the response that was sealed for you is beginning to unfold. This is not a general blessing. It is a specific release crafted for the weight of your calling. It carries the signature of heaven and bears your name upon it. The chosen one does not merely receive what was lost, they recover what was stolen multiplied. What comes to you in this hour is more than provision. It is restoration at the level of identity, dignity, and destiny. Peace is descending into the very places where chaos once ruled. Joy is rising where sorrow settled like dust. You are not being comforted, you are being re-established. There was a reason you felt the tension of being close to breakthrough yet unable to step into it. You were standing in the in-between, a place only the chosen endure, because what was coming wasn't just a blessing, it was alignment. And you were not waiting for the miracle to be ready. The miracle was waiting for you to become the vessel worthy to carry it. Even now, heaven's messengers are moving. Assignments have been released to remove what no longer belongs, and to unlock what has been held back by generations. These are not doors of man. These are doors sealed by the hand of God, and opened only by those who have been set apart. And you, chosen one, have been found faithful in the shadows. Now the light will find you. This moment is about more than money. It is about legacy. What is being returned to you is not just what was lost, but what was destined. You will not leave this season with ashes. You will carry oil. You will not exit as a survivor, but as a witness, one who testifies to the faithfulness of a God who remembers his chosen. The silence was not punishment. The delay was not denial. It was heaven's way of preserving something too holy to be rushed. And now, every mocking voice will be silenced. Every closed door will open. Every broken place will shine with glory. Because the chosen one is rising. The blessing that approaches your life, chosen one, is not a reward without meaning. It is an assignment wrapped in gold. Heaven does not release abundance without intention, and what is coming to you carries both weight and wonder. The financial increase, the open doors, the sudden opportunities, they are not simply for your comfort. They are meant to establish you as a vessel of impact, a lighthouse in places where others have lost their way. C.S. Lewis in The Weight of Glory captured this truth when he wrote, "I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else." Your blessing is like the sun, not just for your own vision, but to illuminate the path for others, reflecting the light of divine purpose. You are not just receiving, you are being entrusted. The chosen are never called to hoard what heaven gives. You were never meant to be a container, you were formed to be a river. What broke you, you will now use to heal. What you lacked, you will now pour into others. The generosity that once felt impossible will now flow naturally through you. This is not just provision, it is purpose. The wealth being released carries within it a divine signature. Multiply, hope, restore dignity, break chains. Understand this. The enemy does not attack what is ordinary. The war against you was fierce because the calling upon you is dangerous to darkness. Your life is a threat to cycles of poverty, shame, and fear. That is why resistance surrounded your breakthrough. That is why distractions intensified right at the edge of your release. But now heaven has rebuked the devourer. The gates that once withheld are opening wide, and you, chosen one, are stepping into a territory your ancestors only dreamed of. Still, this is not the time to waver. You must believe boldly, walk uprightly, and guard what has been placed in your care. The favor coming upon you is not light, it is holy. It will elevate you, it will expose you, and it will require a deeper intimacy with God than ever before. Because this is not about receiving a blessing. It is about becoming a blessing. It is not about success. It is about sacred stewardship. Your faith has not gone unnoticed. Your private obedience, your unseen worship, your silent perseverance, these have ascended like incense. And now heaven is responding not with mere comfort, but with commissioning. You will stand as a testimony that what man deemed impossible, God marked as inevitable. So do not shrink back. The chosen one is called to carry light, not hide from it. Rise now, not with pride, but with reverence. for the wealth, the healing, the elevation. It is not for your name, but for the name above every name. And that name has written yours in glory. Chosen one, heaven has not only declared the promise, it is now executing it. What was once whispered in the secret place is becoming visible in the natural. The alignment you've been praying for is already underway. You do not need to know how the blessing will come, because the instruction has already been spoken into the fabric of time. Unseen hands are moving. Hidden systems are shifting. Banks, people, channels, and circumstances, none of them are beyond God's reach, and all of them are now bending to divine command. This blessing is not fragile. It is not subject to the permission of men. It does not require the approval of those who once doubted you. What has been ordained over your life cannot be intercepted. The favor being poured out is not the kind that merely comforts it, redefines it, restructures it, rewrites entire family lines. This is the kind of miracle that not only sustains you, it sets your legacy ablaze. You chosen one are not receiving wealth alone. You are receiving peace that no threat can touch. You are receiving stability that no system can shake. You are receiving spiritual authority that no enemy can counterfeit. What is being handed to you is the answer to generations of unanswered prayers. Your obedience is breaking cycles. Your alignment is unlocking miracles. Your surrender is speaking louder than words. Now is not the time to question what God has already confirmed. This is not the hour to look back or second-guess the promise. The greatest threat now is distraction, the subtle voice that says it's too good to be true or too late to be possible. But chosen one, you were not led this far to be denied. The door has already been opened. The scroll has already been read in heaven. The oil has already been poured, and your name is on what is being released. You have walked through fire and not been consumed. You have weathered storms that were meant to destroy you. The opposition you faced was not random, it was proportionate to the weight of what you are about to carry. And because you endured, because you remained, you will now walk in what others forfeited. The reward is not just coming, it is here. So stand in faith, stand in awe, and prepare your heart. For what heaven is placing in your hands will not only bless you, it will mark you, it will distinguish you, and it will testify through you that God is faithful to his chosen. There is now a heavenly spotlight upon your life, chosen one not to expose your flaws, but to reveal God's fingerprint on your journey. You have been set apart not by human elevation, but by divine election. While others overlooked your value, heaven endorsed your name. While the world measured your worth by visibility, God saw the oil pressed in secret. And now the time of hiddenness ends. The covering that concealed you was not rejection, it was protection. But now the veil is lifting. You are not stepping into this moment as a wanderer, but as one commissioned by eternity. Every accusation spoken against you is falling powerless. Every curse that clung to your bloodline is being broken. The chosen do not move by reaction, they move by revelation. And what you are now stepping into has been written long before you ever asked for it. This is fulfillment. This is manifestation. This is what it means to be marked by the purposes of God. As C.S. Lewis vividly expressed in Mere Christianity, it may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. We are like eggs at present. And you cannot go on indefinitely being just an ordinary decent egg. We must be hatched or go bad. You chosen one are hatching, breaking free from the shell of hiddenness, to soar into the divine purpose for which you were created. Understand this. The blessing is not simply about personal breakthrough, it is about generational impact. You are not receiving for survival, you are receiving for transformation. You are being trusted with resources, influence, and spiritual authority not to lift your name, but to lift others from the dust. What once disqualified you in the eyes of men now qualifies you in the hands of God, for he chooses the humble, the scarred, the surrendered to carry what is holy. Chosen one, this is not the time to dim your light to make others comfortable. You were never meant to blend in. You carry a frequency. Heaven responds to. Your voice echoes in the throne room, because it is the sound of faith forged in adversity. And now what you once whispered in fear, you will declare in authority. What you once hoped for in trembling, you will now walk in with strength. This shift is not emotional, it is spiritual. It is not seasonal, it is structural. The entire architecture of your life is being realigned to hold what is coming. Relationships, environments, habits, even your inner language, all are being recalibrated to match the weight of glory assigned to you. Do not mourn what is leaving. Anything not rooted in your calling cannot follow you into your next. God has not only chosen you, He has trusted you. He is placing in your hands an inheritance that carries eternal consequence. And He is not anxious about your past, your weakness, or your delay, because the chosen are not defined by perfection but by permission. You said yes when it cost you, and now heaven says yes to you. Chosen one, do not confuse divine delay with divine denial. What felt like silence was strategy. What seemed like absence was alignment. Heaven has been working while you were weeping. God was not only preparing the blessing, He was purifying you to carry it. For the chosen are never handed power without first being refined in the fire of trust. The weight of what is coming required depth, and the depth was carved in the quiet seasons. No one applauded. You may have mourned, lost time, but no time has been wasted. Every detour served a purpose. Every closed door was a redirection, not a rejection. And now, what once looked like stagnation will soon be seen as sacred preparation. Even the pain you couldn't explain was part of the process. God did not let it break you. He used it to build the foundation for something eternal. You are being separated, not to be isolated, but to be elevated. There are things and people that cannot go with you. Some connections were seasonal. Some relationships were assigned to past chapters. Do not grieve the pruning, for it is proof of fruit to come. Heaven is removing what is incompatible with the next level of your assignment. What feels like loss is making room for divine alignment. Chosen one, this moment carries weight. This is the hour to walk lightly, but live deeply. You are standing at the edge of prophetic fulfillment, where your obedience will unlock generational release. Do not allow fear to speak louder than faith. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not behind schedule. You are walking in divine rhythm. And though it has cost you much, though you have bled in silence and endured more than you've shared, your reward will not be small. For the Lord measures differently than men. He weighs the heart, not the performance. And your heart has remained soft even in the fire. That tenderness is what has drawn heaven near. Now the shifting begins, not because you strived, but because you stayed. Not because you had all the answers, but because you refused to let go of the promise. And that kind of faith, chosen one, moves the hand of God. Chosen one, you have been covered by grace in ways you may never fully comprehend. In moments when danger crept near, when decisions could have destroyed your future, God's hand shielded you. Not because of your perfection, but because of your calling. You are not still standing by accident. You are still standing because heaven said, preserve this one, protect the oil. There is an anointing upon your life that has drawn the warfare, but it has also drawn the angels. So many times you wondered why the battle felt endless, why the pressure seemed unbearable. It was not because you were forgotten, it was because you were carrying something sacred. The enemy doesn't fight what doesn't threaten him. The intensity of your storm was a mirror of the magnitude of your assignment. But what the enemy meant for harm, God has already begun to reverse. Now comes the revealing, the hour where what was hidden in you will no longer be held back. The talents you buried under survival will rise. The dreams that felt dormant will stir again. The prayers you once whispered will find their echo in open doors. For this is the season where heaven publicly confirms what it privately prepared. You will not need to force your way forward. God Himself is making room for you. And yes, there are still obstacles, but none of them are bigger than the one who called you. You will face giants, but not alone. You will walk through fire, but not be burned. Because what covers you is not human confidence, it is divine covenant. The Lord has placed his name over your life, and that seal cannot be broken. Chosen one, the stage is being set for what you could never manufacture in your own strength. The right people, the right resources, the right alignments, they are being drawn to you not by effort but by anointing. You are no longer chasing provision. Provision is being commanded to locate you. What once evaded you will now pursue you. But remember this, the revealing is not for recognition, it is for responsibility. You are not being elevated just to be seen. You are being entrusted to serve. You carry light meant to awaken others. Your breakthrough is meant to break others free. This is the nature of the chosen. They do not rise for their own glory. They rise because God is writing his glory into their story. Chosen one, do not be deceived. This season is not just about receiving a harvest of resources. It is about entering into a realm of rest that only the faithful are invited into. You are being ushered into peace not as the absence of trouble but as the presence of divine certainty. The same God who shielded you through storms is now surrounding you with stillness. It is in this holy quiet that your vision will sharpen, your spirit will heal, and your strength will return. You have fought long. You have endured much. The trials carved trenches in your soul. But now those trenches will become rivers of living water. Where there was weariness, renewal is coming. Where anxiety once ruled calm will now reign. This is not the end of the battle, but it is the beginning of a different kind of strength. Heaven is not merely giving you relief. It is giving you reinforcement. You do not have to strive to prove yourself. You do not have to exhaust yourself trying to be seen. You were already chosen. You were already sealed. The eyes of heaven were fixed on you long before the world took notice. What God has appointed for you is not fragile. It is not subject to comparison. It cannot be stolen, copied, or blocked. It has been authored specifically for the weight of your spirit and the length of your journey. In this stillness, the Lord is speaking, not through thunder but through whispers. And the chosen ones are those who lean in when the world grows loud. They are the ones who trust the divine, even when clarity delays. You are being trained now in the rhythm of rest, because where you are going, peace must be your compass. Emotion will not lead you. Reaction will not guide you. Only stillness, grounded in knowing God is with me. God goes before me. God has already made the way. Let the world rush ahead. Let others grasp at status. You are not called to hurry. You are called to move in alignment. And in that alignment, doors open without force, and resources flow without begging. This is the strength of the chosen, unshaken, unmoved, anchored in grace. So receive this peace. Guard it. Let it rule in your heart and govern your steps. For the most powerful rise begins in stillness, and the greatest breakthroughs come not with noise but with obedience. You are walking into something sacred. Do not allow the old pace of survival to rob you of the gift of divine rhythm. Chosen one, heaven is not simply blessing your steps, it is aligning your entire path. Every delay, every redirection, every unanswered prayer now begins to reveal its purpose. The pain that once felt purposeless is now becoming the soil of your promotion. What looked like wasted years were in fact divine foundations being laid hidden but never forgotten. And now the season shifts, not because you forced it, but because heaven has declared it ripe. You have long walked by faith and not by sight. You stayed when it was easier to run. You believed when logic told you to let go. You sowed in tears and now you will reap in joy. But this joy is not shallow. It is the joy of knowing you did not miss what was meant for you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, because divine timing cannot be measured by human clocks. What you thought passed you by is actually waiting for you at a door only heaven could open. That door will not need to be kicked in. It will not require striving. It will respond to your presence, because your presence now carries weight. You are no longer who you once were. You have been transformed in the waiting, matured in the pain, and refined in the fire. Now the miracle begins to unfold, not suddenly to God, but suddenly to you. It has always been in motion, and now, chosen one, you will see it with your own eyes. You will step into spaces you once only imagined. You will speak to people you once thought were beyond your reach. You will stand in favor that feels too great to explain, and yet it fits, because heaven tailored it to your name. But remember, the miracle was never just about you. You were chosen not for self-preservation, but for impact. God's timing in your life is not just delivering a promise. It is positioning you to become the promise for others. What once felt like survival will now become someone else's breakthrough because you endured. This is why the timing had to be perfect. Because your life is not merely unfolding, it is being orchestrated. Stay sensitive to the shift. You will feel it before you see it. The atmosphere around you will change. Peace will precede the provision. Confirmation will come before the manifestation. This is how the chosen know, not by chance, but by divine rhythm. And you, chosen one, are now walking in rhythm with eternity. Chosen one, nothing you have walked through will be wasted. Not a single tear, not a single loss, not a single dark night where you questioned whether God still saw you. Every cry, every sacrifice made in secret, every battle you fought when no one stood beside you, heaven kept the record. And now the time of redemption has arrived. What was broken will be made whole. What was stolen will be returned sevenfold. You are not stepping into fragments, you are stepping into fullness. There is a divine reversal unfolding in your life. The same places where you once wept will become the very places you will dance. The valleys you thought would bury you will become the stages of your testimony. You see, the journey was never just about surviving. It was always about rising. The chosen are shaped in hardship, not to remain there, but to carry authority that cannot be counterfeited. And you, beloved of heaven, have been entrusted with that weight. You did not earn this through perfection. You were entrusted with it because you chose surrender. Even in weakness, you chose to keep going. Even in confusion, you chose to believe. Now your obedience is bearing fruit, not only in visible ways, but in eternal ones. You will begin to see doors open that your strength could never have touched. You will see divine connections form around you. People sent by heaven to lift your arms, to carry your vision, to multiply what once seemed small. You won't have to explain this moment. It will be evident. Those who once questioned you will say, "Surely God has done this." But stay grounded. Stay humble. For this rising is not for show. It is for service. The greater the light upon your life, the deeper your roots must grow. Protect what God is building within you. Do not trade intimacy with Him for applause from men. Let holiness be your compass. Let gratitude be your language. Let purity protect the oil. Chosen one, you are entering into a season where your past will no longer hold the pen. The author of your story has taken over, and his chapters are written in glory. Your legacy begins now, not because you finally became enough, but because you finally believed you were chosen. Chosen one, you are no longer just walking into a blessing, you are stepping into a legacy. What heaven has placed upon your life was never meant to stop with you. The oil is not only for your healing, it is for the generations that follow. You have become a threshold between what was and what will be. And through you the curse breaks. Through you the cycle ends. Through you a new line begins, marked, not by lack, but by covenant. Your children, even if unborn, will walk in freedoms you fought for. They will stand on altars you wept upon. They will dream bigger because you chose obedience when no one understood. The sacrifices you made in silence will speak loudly through their victories. What you are carrying is not temporary. It is eternal. This is the weight and wonder of the chosen. Do not measure your life by what is visible today. For heaven is measuring you by your alignment, not your applause. You may still feel unseen in the eyes of men, but heaven is bearing witness. The angels assigned to you are not idle. They are moving even now, arranging encounters, shifting circumstances, positioning resources. There are doors you will walk through in the coming days that have been sealed off from others, not because of status, but because of stewardship. God can trust you now, and yes, the cost was high, but it was never higher than the promise. You gave up comfort. You laid down your timeline. You surrendered your plans. And in exchange, you are receiving something no one can take: divine purpose sealed by God Himself. That seal cannot be revoked, and it cannot be counterfeited. Chosen one, the days ahead will move quickly, but you must move slowly within them. Do not rush. Do not chase. What belongs to you will find you. What is assigned to you will rest on you with ease. Your job now is to remain yielded, to listen closely, to walk softly, to obey without delay. For the mantle resting on you is not light, but it is holy. It is sacred, and it has been waiting for someone like you, one who would not just carry the fire but honor it. You are not the same person who began this journey. You have been tested, purified, and proven. And now the story shifts. The page turns, and the name Chosen One becomes more than identity. It becomes inheritance. Chosen One, this is the turning. What was once process is now becoming purpose. What was once fire is now forging. The journey that pressed you, stripped you, and tested the very core of your identity. It was never meant to destroy you. It was heaven's refinement. You have walked through the wilderness and survived the silence. You have endured the breaking without bitterness. And now the fullness of time has come. You are no longer waiting for something to begin. It has already begun. The shift has occurred in the spirit, and soon the evidence will follow in the natural. What God has spoken over you will not return void. What was sealed in the courts of heaven must manifest in the earth. You are entering a realm of manifestation where the invisible becomes visible, not because of striving, but because of alignment. This is not just your breakthrough, it is your coronation. The season of internal war is giving way to outward witness. The oil you carry is no longer hidden in jars, it is being poured out before nations. Your voice will reach further than your plans imagined. Your presence will carry weight in places where your name was never known. For the hand of God is upon you, and where He places you, no man can remove you. And still remember, the glory is not yours to own. It is His to reveal through you. The chosen one does not rise to dominate, but to serve, to carry light into darkness, to rebuild what was torn down, to gather what was scattered. You are not rising to prove your worth. You are rising to reflect His. Do not be afraid of how fast things begin to move. Acceleration is the mark of this hour. What once took years will now unfold in moments, but with that acceleration comes the need for clarity and consecration. You must stay near to the whisper. Stay hidden in the presence. For everything you will carry publicly must first be birthed privately in devotion. Chosen one. The heavens are not waiting, they are watching. And all of creation leans in to see what God will now birth through you. This is not the end of your journey. It is the fulfillment of prophecy. What began in trembling will now continue in triumph. The mantle rests. The oil flows. The gates are open. And your name is known in heaven. This is your time not to boast, but to build. Not to escape, but to establish. Not to simply receive, but to reign with wisdom, with mercy, with holy fire. You are ready. The earth has waited, and heaven now releases you